you'll see in Jiu-Jitsu, the bow and arrow choke. So what I'm going to do, usually as soon as I go to the back, I usually have a harness here like this. Same is going to be defending my choking hand, so I need to make sure I set this up pretty good to actually be able to get the choke. And I'll put in a little caveat. It's way easier to start choking them before you've fully got the back. Once you've got your hooks in, here with my feet like this, people usually are very defensive, and you can get them, but it usually takes some time. When you're going to put your hooks, they're often more defending your legs, and you can start feeding the collar a lot easier. Yeah, so it's much easier to get when they're trying to defend your feet as opposed to straight out defending their neck. Alright, so Tamer's got his grips like this. I want to make sure my hand is in the right spot first of all, my choking hand. So my hand's down here, and I open my hands and start trying to feed the lapel. It's going to be so hard to get it at a good angle where I'm actually going to finish the choke. So I'm going to grab my own hand here. Tamer can be holding, that's fine. I'm going to start trying to pull just the whole thing up so that my elbow is a little bit behind. See my right elbow go like on top of his shoulder here. So here, I'll sometimes put my foot on the hip to give me a bit of like leverage to kind of pull back. I'm here. Now when Tamer's defending my hand's right near the neck. Yeah. So if I do feed the lapel to that hand, I've got a much better chance of getting a choke. And Tamer's defense is also limited here too when I do get the lapel. If I grab the lapel here, Tamer can hold my elbow really tight. I can't pull back to choke him. So first thing I do, hold my own hand and pull your elbow back over the top of the shoulder. Tamer starts defending, and what I'm going to do when I feel I've got a chance, I'm going to grab the lapel like this. I'm going to turn it out and pull like that. It's important that you turn the lapel out, because what happens a lot of the time, if you feed it like this, you grab the material, and then Tamer grabs below it. Even if he can't get above it, he'll get below. He pulls, and the gap of my hand is where the material is. You can go straight through, and you can rip it free like that. Yeah. When I turn it and I grip, like the gap kind of almost doesn't exist really, but because my fingers have come over, like you'd almost have to push it that way. So you have to kind of push it into the choke to start trying to release it, which won't actually happen obviously. So you just want to make sure like you're feeding it and you're curling your fingers over the top, curl your wrist, so you've actually got a good grip. Well, nothing worse than getting a collar, going to choke, and then they pull and you lose the grip. Okay, so again, but here, grab your own hand, pull your elbow over the top, so this brings your hands nice and close to the neck. You're going to grab the lapel, pull it lengthways like that, and turn it out a bit. Reach through with your hand now, and grab. Okay, from here, I'm going to turn the angle, so I put my right foot on the hip, and I want to start trying to get 90 degrees to Tamer now. So I put the right foot on the hip, I'm still sitting up because it gives me some mobility. I want to grab his leg, and I want to turn to him 90 degrees. I can choke here, but to finish it really good, I want to swing my right leg over the top and catch that shoulder. From here, I'm not pulling back, I just pull my elbow towards my hip. And that gets the choke. So, get that shoulder back, grab the lapel, pull down, and feed to your hand here like this. Foot goes on the hip, I'm starting to try to turn 90 degrees while I'm staying up. If you end up like on your side here, it gets harder to get the angle. There's other things we can do, but for the sake of the first time anyway, let's stay seated. We're like this. Okay, one last thing. When you're doing this, I want your partner to see if they can pop their head out. This is the next most common way people lose it. They flare their elbow. And that happens, okay? So just make sure that your elbow is tight to your hip. Do that now, Tim. He shouldn't be able to pull his head out underneath. I can swing my leg over the top and finish. Okay, so you're really winding him up. One more time. Grab your arms, get that elbow over the top, grab the lapel, pull it down, feed it to your hand. We're going to put our foot on the hip that lets us take our hook across, grab the leg, stay seated forward, and then we're going to swing our leg over the shoulder and row. So we go. 3, 2, 1. Sometimes your back, it sucks, so you got to get out. First thing, don't get choked. So, as a general rule, and I know you want to get off their hooks, because when they got their hooks, they're keeping you in, but don't try to start using your hands to push their hooks off. That gives them your neck, okay? So your hands have to be playing a role of defending your neck, and the best way to do that, if you can, either In no gi, it's like both hands on the wrist and pulling down. In the gi, you can actually grab the sleeve here and pull it too deep. Yeah. So you remember that choke we just did? You had to like pull your when you get the lapel, like they have to pull back to choke you. Yeah. So if you can grab their sleeve and pull your elbow by your side, even if they get your lapel, it's hard for them to get a lot of leverage, at least at the moment. Once they turn their body, they'll get their body behind it, and it's hard. So we don't want to let that happen. Okay, and your other hand can grab the back of the elbow, so that also helps stop him from pulling that elbow back. Yeah. All right, I want to try and get my shoulders to the mat. And to do that, I want to, if you can imagine they're pointing with the hand that's could potentially choke you, so the one that's around the neck. They're always going to have like one hand around the neck and one under the armpit. If they're both around the neck, you're going to move your shoulders way easier. So just as an example, they shouldn't really be going here, but if they are, it's way easier for me to escape, as long as I just defend the choke. So they're going to make it a bit harder usually to try and set it up by having one underneath. We grab both hands on that one hand, like so. I want to try and get I imagine that choking hand's pointing, and I want to go that way, so the direction his hand's pointing. So I want to try and get my head to the mat on that side, if I can. So I bridge up first of all. That kind of immobilizes Tamer from following me. If I'm here like this and I start moving, he follows me. When I bridge up, it's hard for his shoulders to follow my shoulders. I then start trying to bring my head to this side of Tamer and really like wedge it there, make it uncomfortable for them if you can, and try and put it down towards the mat, but next to their head. So now it should be hard for Tamer to come underneath to the other side of my head now. It's harder for him to choke me as well. From here, I start to walk high and turn my shoulders, and I'm trying to get them both flat to the mat, like this. At the same time, my hips are starting to come out to the side. So I've ended up now almost with my shoulders to the mat and with my hips out, here like this. Once I'm here, I wait. Tamer's probably he's either going to keep going for the back. If that's the case, I keep just slowly walking and I start trying to break that grip, ready to turn in. If he decides to try to come on top, I'm ready to block the hips, hip escape, and start trying to get him back to guard. Just like when you're half out, don't try and roll on top yet, because there's a fair chance they'll take you back again, and you've done all that work, don't make it bad again, okay? So grab the arm, all nice and tight, your head to the other side, bridging in, and I'm trying to get my shoulders to the mat, like this. When I'm here, I don't turn in. If I try and turn back on top, I end up on the wrong side, back on the back, okay? So I have to keep going until I'm actually feeling like my shoulders are out, and my legs and hips are outside the guard here. Okay, from here, if I can wait for Tamer to come on top, lock his hips, come here, or try to get up now. So when you feel them abandon their attempt at the back and try to come up, that's when you start trying to turn in and turn into something good. Alright, so we got that. 3, 2, 1.